Transformers is one of the widest known media franchises in the world. Starting out as a simple Japanese toy range, it soon exploded into a multimedia franchise, spawning a hit cartoon series, comic books, a blockbuster film franchise, and video games. Transformers Devastation is actually the first piece of Transformers media I've actually ever consumed. That's mainly because I've just never been that interested in it. The cartoons were before my time, but the reason I'm covering Transformers Devastation today is because of the developer behind it, Platinum Games. Platinum Games is a Japanese development studio that specializes in making action games like Bayonetta and Vanquish. Well, when given the rights by Activision to develop a new Transformers game, I was interested. Platinum Games got many of the original cast from the cartoons back to voice the characters, and well implemented that Platinum Games style into the Transformers universe. Is it a hidden gem, or should it stay forgotten? This is Transformers Devastation. In the beginning, these metal claws begin emerging from underground, and bug-like Transformers known as Insecticons begin attacking the nearby city. When the Autobots, led by Optimus Prime, investigate the attacks, they discover that an ancient Transformers spaceship called the Proud Star is buried underneath the Earth. Supervillain Megatron and his Decepticons are planning to use the ship's weapons to cyberform planet Earth and turn it into a new Cybertron, the homeworld of the Transformers. The plot isn't the greatest. In fact, it's a very basic villain wants to destroy Earth scenario. The heroes must stop him. The Decepticons provide nothing more than obstacles to get in the heroes' way. Now, the plot was written by a former Transformers comic writer, but I'm sure the comics had much more creative storytelling than what's on offer here. Now, the game is split into 7 chapters. It is a short game, but I really enjoyed the length of it. Any longer, and it could have overstayed its welcome. You get multiple Autobots to play as. Optimus Prime and Bumblebee are the ones that I chose for my first playthrough of it, because, well, they're the ones that I knew. Each of the Transformers have their own unique special move mapped to L1 that differentiates themselves from one another. Like Optimus Prime has an AoE attack that is great to add at the end of a combo, whereas Bumblebee could slide in between enemies' legs due to his small stature. There's also a ton of great boss encounters here too. I haven't watched the shows or read the comics, however you don't have to enjoy this game. Its wealth of villains this game introduces gave me plenty of lore to read up on in the bonus menu. And while you may fight some of the boss characters a bit too many times, Devastator I recall facing about 5 times, the combat system does keep it as refreshing as it can. Now, the combat system here is, to put it lightly, pretty damn incredible. I won't lie when I say this is without a doubt one of the most fun hack and slash combat systems I've ever played, and that's down to the Transformers IP. Yes, you have your light attack, your heavy attack, your super move that deals free damage, etc. However, it's new vehicle modes that add the needed complexity and flexibility to the combat. Holding R1 will have you turn into your chosen Autobot's vehicle form. It's very satisfying at just how smooth and fast changing forms is, and it really helps when you need to quickly back away from a foe. When you pick up enough speed, you can uppercut your opponent, which comes fitted with a great slow motion effect and can also bust through shielded enemies. Also, at the end of a combo string, tapping R1 will have your character execute an extra vehicle attack to deliver more damage. Transformers Devastation has no parrying system. Instead, it's all about dodging at the right time, in which you'll evade your opponent's move, slow down time for a few seconds, and then be free to execute any kind of combo you like. Transformers Devastation's combat flows like wine. It has a good strategy element to it, coupled with slick and gorgeous animation that leave an impact with every single hit. If you choose Grimlock to play as, he does control a lot differently to the other Transformers. His base form is the same, however instead of turning into a vehicle, he transforms into a Dinobot. This means he gets his own set of heavy attacks that the other vehicle Transformers can't do. Plus, he can breathe fire, which is awesome anyway. For as short as Devastation is, it's definitely worth going back and trying Grimlock out and the other Transformers themselves if you didn't play them on your first run through. To add to the game's short length, Devastation attempts to implement some classic gameplay tropes that fail in adding to Devastation's lasting appeal in my opinion. Like, you've got a looting system in place where in the game's chapters you can find loot boxes. Opening them gives you coins to upgrade weapons with, new weapons, etc. But it's very cheaply done, with the weapons differing by being like different colours or different models but still producing the same combos and attack animations. It's not as diverse as a game like say Borderlands. It even comes with side missions and challenges, but these are dull and shallow time wasters, like defeat these newly spawned enemies in a time limit, with the prize at the end not being all that worthwhile. The level design is also very troubling, with not much variety in locales to visit. The entire game is set within the city streets or on board a spaceship, in which every room and corridor looks not that much different from the last. On board the spaceship, the game even attempts at breaking combat portions up with some platforming, but it's as simple as platforms come out of the walls and you jump on them to get to the other end of the level, even though the jumping in this clearly was not designed for this. Transformers Devastation is most certainly a forgotten action gem. Its presentation was terrific in capturing that authentic Transformers feel. It felt like playing an episode of the cartoon. Its finely tuned combat and slick transforming abilities make it stand out from the crowd of other action games. If it had some better level variety and design, some more modes to enjoy, and some better Transformer customization with a more refined loot system, there definitely could have been a hit with Transformers Devastation. This game took me back to the days of the PlayStation 2, when game AAA companies really showed some innovation in their games, and it's one of the highlights for licensed games in most recent years. Next episode, we're taking a turn to the Disney universe. I'll see you there. Thanks all for watching and have a good day.
Then that is where we go. Autobots, roll out!